What's up, Ryan? We are back, ready to share some more of our favorite things with Wrike. And I know we've had a lot of different stuff we've been doing recently. Like we've had some customers, right? We've shared some inside stories with our own fellow employees. And today I think really want to just jump in a little bit and talk a little bit more about our product. So there's certainly something that's been hot on my mind. I kind of maybe it's a little bit of a geek card for me. I don't know, but I really like talking really on that governance angle, right? And that admin angle. Probably yeah, I was an IT admin in my past, so I've always had this brain toward like how do we scale things and how do we grow them, right? And how do you do it in a way that's makes it easy for everyone to use things. So that's where I'm thinking we go in today. But before we jump into that, how you been?
Yeah, no, same. I mean, there's so many great product features that are dropping. I feel like summer's very hot for us right now. I'm excited about everything you and I have slated coming up, and I love this topic, right? Because when I came on board with Reich, it was right at the beginning of what I'm going to call the evolution of governance, right? I think at one point in time we used to be very much centralized governments, right? It was all very much administrative level. And then at some point, we became more of a distributed model and we started having space level configurations. And that led to space level workflows, space level custom item types, space level custom fields.
Yep.
And I think that's amazing. And
Yeah,
it's incredibly
absolutely needed,
easy.
right?
Yeah, right. Like it was, and that distributed model made it so much easier for everyone. So, obviously, with that, it's grown rapidly, and we needed to make it more scalable and more efficient. And so these new governance features that we've implemented are doing just that.
Yeah, so I think this one is, today we're a little bit different of an episode, right? Because it's probably a little bit more catered toward the Reich admin out there, right? Or someone that's looking at their platform across their entire company. But I think don't turn off, the ears right now because the it's applicable to anyone because I guarantee some of the things we're going to talk about, is this idea of like, hey, I just saw something that one of the teams in my department built, and I want that,
Yeah.
right?
I was gonna say, man, don't turn it completely away from
Yep,
people other
yep,
than
yep.
admins, right? There was and you'll see this and I'm sure you'll show this, but there was an instance the other day where I saw a department was using like an invoice custom item type, and they were like, "That's great." And rather than having to go recreate it, they can just snag it now, right? They could say like, "I want that. I want to duplicate that same thing in my space." So, I think everybody definitely be all ears because the possibilities of now taking work and spreading it to other spaces or governing it's just getting a huge upgrade.
So let's bring this up and talk about it a little bit here. And I think the important thing to call out here is really what we're going to show today is the start of some really big things happening. It's a view that you're going to see coming up more and more on that admin space. So if I come in here, right, and just reminding everyone how to get here, if I come into settings, right, and jump into this, let's jump into custom item types because you and I have talked about this before. You and I are both custom item type nerds, right? So now you see
Love
this, wait a minute, right? Like this looks very different, right? This is not what I'm used to seeing here, right? And I think there's a couple things that are really cool about this to me. One, it uses some of the same design language. So now I am, as an admin, looking at custom item types across the entire account, right? From that standpoint, I could see where they're being used. I see what spaces they're being used in, right? But but now look, I got the group fields, right? Like if you use table view, you know group, right? Right? You've used this probably every day, right? And then I've even got the field picker view to turn fields on and off. So now all of a sudden we're taking something that you've done to execute your work, and now we've taken that same design language and brought it in a way to be a bit of an admin of the work. And I think there's like a power here, right? Because now I could start seeing where are these custom item types being used? Maybe I want to come in and group these, by last edited date, right? Like when did someone touch this last, right? Or is this
Right.
something collecting dust on the shelf?
Dude, and that's something, Matt, that people have like reached out to me a ton about is saying, actually, I felt that own pain, even in demo environments or even in other Wrike environments, is just going, we've created item types for a reason. In fact, I'm looking at my demo space, and I don't know if you have the same thing, but I see two CITs that are both titled deliverable living in two different places. And like that's a great example that I now have the power to see that. And I can see one of them was created but hasn't been filled out in 2 years. But the other one is being actively used. So I can go get visibility into that kind of stuff and start reducing duplicative data or start, maybe reaching out to that department. Hey, I notice in this specific in the campaign management space you have a deliverable, you're not using it. Can we govern that? Like, let's take a look at the data that's attached to that. And is that something that we could eliminate so we can remove duplicative data?
Yeah, yeah, and centralize, like start using these same items across teams. Like then all of a sudden the dashboards and reports become way, way more powerful, right? Because you're looking globally and able to surface those things. And that's like to your point, one that I see a lot. We'll see how our demo space goes here, but risk. Oh, look at that, right? We've got three different demo users here that have all built their own custom item types here for risk, right? You got risks with Kimberly, you got my PMO Michaels built two, and then product Megan's also built it, right? So this is a great example of, okay, let's consolidate this so we have a centralized risk across our organization. And then when we're talking risk and reporting on risk, we're seeing all of them, right? So it's really cool from that standpoint. And then another thing that I think is going to be powerful is we're going to have features to start converting some of these things to space level or account level, right? And share these things across the users. So this admin panel is going to become so darn powerful. And it's, I'm showing it here from custom item types. But also look at this, workflows, right? Quick pivot here. You could see the same thing. Now I could start looking at workflows, right? How many times have you seen duplicate workflows out there, Ryan?
All the time, right? Yeah, no, and I agree. And that goes back to that kind of, when we went to the distributed model and everybody had a space level and then they were creating space level workflows, it certainly did create more manual effort. If I'm
Yeah.
creating a new space and that space needs to have a ticket, well, yes, I could have account level workflows and I could have space level workflows, but we're bridging that gap now. So you're going to have the ability to take, CITs, workflows, move them up to account level, move them down to space level, move them to different spaces, duplicate them, add them, use them across or cross space workflow triggers. And so start thinking about like where this is going too. This is just opening up for more cross collaboration and scalability between different spaces and different departments and different teams without creating duplicative work.
And I think it's also important to call out why some of this happened. There's good reasons for it, right? Because a lot of times, if you had your process or you had your workflow fully baked cross-functionally, most likely you're gonna get everyone together and work on it. But a lot of times, what we need with Reich and the flexibility that it offers is just this chance to get in, build something, figure it out, continually improve it, refine it. But now this is giving that avenue, right? Where, okay, I've got this good. Now let's start taking this across my department. Let's start taking this across the company, right? So it gives you that sandbox, but with the ability to turn that sandbox into something more permanent down the road.
Yeah. I don't know. I think like if I could summarize it, right, is when we went to space level administration, we we truly enabled scalability like nobody else in the industry.
Yeah.
And now with this, we're able to maintain control from a high level.
Yeah, and I think we are excited about some of the things on the roadmap that we're going to be able to show later this year because these aren't just um, the only things we're doing. There is a huge focus on how do we make this so easy for small, large customers of all sizes to like take the greatness they build and standardize and share this across their company. So some really huge things coming. I hope like this gives everyone some ideas. If you haven't looked at some of these things, get ready. It's coming for custom fields. It's coming for request forms. Like you're going to see this everywhere. And I think I'd also call out tomorrow. Stephanie Wilson, just also one of those special governance wizards here at Wrike. She's leading a webinar to kind of talk through governance and some of these practices. So if you're watching this here on Monday, go sign up, check that webinar. And if you're watching a recording of this or you're watching this later, there will be a recording of that webinar. So go in and check that out. As always, send some comments. Let us know your thoughts. I would love to hear some feedback and where this takes you.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I'm gonna tap on that one again. I would love to hear how people feel about governance and feel about this in the comments, right? Because
Yeah.
I've heard a lot from customers. Custom field governance is huge. And so, throw those comments down. We'd love to hear more about like how you're excited about this, what you're hoping to see, and certainly how you're leveraging it if you've already started to play with it today.
Yep. All right. Let's wrap there. Thanks, everyone. We'll talk to you soon.
See y'all.